Steven, is this the best sports time of the year?
Huh. It's a good question.
Because we got football, pro and college.
Right.
We got baseball playoffs going as we speak.
Yep.
We got basketball coming back in, I guess, 2 weeks or a week from Tuesday. Good Lord. A lot.
Yeah. October 18th is the start of the season. So,
Yes.
I'd say so, but then you get to like the divisional round of football and that weekend of playoffs,
Oh, I see.
or is it wild card weekend of playoffs? But I don't know, but it's not the best. I'm not going to say it's the best because there are different times of year, but yes, it's a great sports time of the year.
We
right
got a bunch of sports going on. Well, hockey started yesterday. Go Sharks.
This is true. They're in Prague.
They are in Prague.
Yeah. The old Czech Republic, and they got checked yesterday. Bad.
Oh, they did. Welcome, everybody, to Just Your Opinion, man. Stephen Langford, Derek Papa. We're coming to you on a Saturday morning. Why are we doing that, Stephen?
Because I'm going to a wedding tonight, and I did not want to wake up tomorrow morning after a wedding to do a podcast at 8 in the morning.
But I'm finding myself a little sluggish today. But we got a ton to talk about. It won't be just a pregame show, man. But we will be doing all of our picks today. We'll review the Raider game. We'll review the Niner game. We'll definitely get into what's going on with Draymond Green and all that situation. We'll talk about Thursday Night Football. We'll do it all today. Plus, so that we haven't done ever, Raiders are playing Monday night. So you and I will be going live after the game, I think at 9:30-ish.
Yeah.
So you and I will be doing a post-game show for the first time, and hopefully Raider Nation watches us. And we'll see what happens between the Raiders and Chiefs.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that what's it called? We just need to make sure that I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah.
It's that early.
No, that we hashtag Raiders, because that's going to be what
I'm leaving that all to you.
That's what's going to bring people, Derek. You're not a great hashtagger.
You aggregate and do all the necessary hoopla for the internets.
It's not hoopla.
Hoopla.
It's how you get the podcast to the next level. And as Ernie is saying here, didn't want to wake up to the glizzy dog. So we tied, right?
Correctamundo. In our week 4 picks, you and I tied. And our tiebreaker will be our fantasy matchup, which I'm doing poorly in.
You know what's funny is, like, didn't this happen last year too? When we did this? Did we have a tiebreaker? Did we have a tiebreaker that ended with our fantasy matchup, or did we just make it straight up our fantasy matchup?
I think we did like the tiebreaker was going to be like the Monday night game or something.
Oh, okay. All right. Gotcha. Well, you're screwed because my team is stacked in that.
I noticed. Are you undefeated? Team WAP?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my team 3 years in a row. Same picture too. My team, the appropriately titled Deshaun Watson, pretty good team, but I'm 0-4. I don't know how. I'll tell you how I am 0-4. 1 week when I was hanging out with you and Carl and Elena at the athletic club, I forgot to change my lineup to put Romeo Dobbs in for the late window, and then I left Keenan Allen in and got 0 points, and I was boned.
Actually, let me check here. I need to check if this is the league where I made the mistake. No, it wasn't. In one of my leagues, I signed Latavius Murray, or I claimed Latavius Murray because I needed a running back, and I accidentally put him in the starting lineup when I claimed him.
Now, why would you do that?
And he was not available, so he was NA. So I got 0 points in that. I think that's actually in the other league I'm in, where my team name is Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Quite presumptuous of you.
Yeah, a little bit, but yeah, that's not good. But you know what? Whatever, man. I'm killing it in all my leagues this year. This is the most confident I've been in all my leagues in a while.
I'm doing well in the KBR league, but I'm doing terrible in the Tick of My Butthole league. I don't know what's going on with that. I thought I drafted a good team. Jonathan Taylor screwing me, though, not playing.
Well, we're clearly the more classy league than that KBR league you got going on over there.
Yeah, the Tick of My Butthole league is a classy joint.
Even though it's ran by a guy who works for KBR.
Yes, he is. Not in the KBR league too. Shout out Jacob. So yeah, our tiebreaker will be our fantasy matchup. But as far as our picks this week, we started on Thursday with the Broncos and Colts. We'll talk about that game, but I believe we both just get 1 point from that because we both picked the Broncos to win. Don't get that. We picked the points as well, but we both got the under right, and God knows that under hit.
Yeah, my buddy told me earlier, he's just like, you know what? Everyone on earth is taking the under. I'm taking the over. I said,
Oh,
okay.
you fool, you fool.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we will talk about that beautifully terrible game.
I didn't watch any of it. Well, I watched a little bit of it, and then
I will fill you in. I will fill you in on
I
how
was given
terrible it
live
was.
updates at night on that game, and
Okay,
then I was gone.
it was. Steven, are you familiar with the movie The Room?
Yes.
It was The Room of NFL games. Probably the best, worst game I've ever seen of my life.
So it was like
It was so bad it was good.
It was like, so basically like Matt Ryan and Russell Wilson were Tommy Wiseau, and the guy in the red cut sleeve shirt just throwing the football around to each other.
Yes. I don't know his name, but yes. It was basically just Matt
No one knows the
Ryan.
other guy's name. We only know
Someone-
Tommy Wiseau.
Well, yeah, someone needs to do like the meme thing of that where Russell Wilson is just I did not hit her. I did not.
Yeah. Broncos fans are like, you're tearing me apart, Russell.
That's pretty good. Before we get to all that, we've been talking about football for the most part since football season started, but now basketball is on the horizon. And that's crazy to think because I feel like just yesterday you and I were doing a reaction show to when the Warriors won the championship. But within a week's time, October 18th, the Warriors, so in 10 days, will be starting their season over again. They're opening it up against the LA Lakers Tuesday night, getting their rings. And we'll see if Draymond Green is there. So, if you've been living under a rock the last few days, I'll catch you up to speed. Draymond Green and Jordan Poole, after the Warriors came back from a trip to Tokyo, and I understand the Warriors are a big deal and Tokyo is a big deal, but I hate that they have to start their season over there because whenever they go overseas before the season, they just kind of start their season sluggish. But at this point, they always start the regular season sluggish. So
Well,
it is.
if James, well, I mean, they were not good. Like, especially the first game. I think didn't Wiggins, Poole, and Steph all combined?
You're asking me if I pay attention to any preseason games?
They were like, oh, come on, Derek. It's like now you're going to be all high and mighty about preseason games when it's talking about another sport. When it's football preseason, you're all in.
Well,
but
come on here.
But the first game, I think Steph, Wiggins, and Poole combined like 3 for 24. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, pretty sure they were 3 for 24. But then Wiseman, on the other hand, looked like a beast in his return to the court. So that was a good sign of that first preseason game. Hope that carries into the regular season.
We'll see. With Wiseman, it's just got to be let's do it when it actually counts. But
hey, man, that guy was smiling after the game. I was happy for him. Okay, the smile that he had on his face when he was done with the game.
Good for him, man. But
he actually put things into perspective. He said like that's the first time he's played in front of a crowd, since in the pros, and I'm like, damn,
what?
Because back in 2021, in April of 2021, they weren't playing with crowds.
Oh, that's a good point. All right. Yeah. Good to know. Well, I mean, I would assume that Wiseman's going to start the season off the bench because Looney, proved his stuff in the playoffs.
Yeah, but Looney's probably going to do the same as he always does during the regular season, which is probably play no more than 20 minutes a game, and Wiseman's going to get his. So even though Looney's the starter, it doesn't mean he's going to be getting 35 minutes on the court.
No, yeah. Let's get to the issue at hand, though. So the reason we're bringing up the Warriors before the season starts is because Wednesday there was an altercation. As reported by Sham Charania, Anthony Slater, and Marcus Thompson, there was a fight between Draymond Green and Jordan Poole to the point where, as it was described in the article, Draymond Green struck Jordan Poole in the head. So we see this, we get the details, and whenever you hear there was a fight with the Warriors, everyone goes, well, it's going to be Draymond. We just didn't know initially who it was against, and it turns out to be the young Jordan Poole. Now, initially when you hear this, you think to yourself, okay, what is this fight about? And You and I have discussed this since the Warriors won the championship. The big thing that's been the talking point over the summer is who's going to get their contract extensions. Draymond Green, Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins. And everything that has been reported and discussed by Draymond Green himself, it sounds that Jordan Poole will get his contract extension, Andrew Wiggins will get his, and Draymond Green will not.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we'll talk about Draymond's future in a little bit. You would like to think that that doesn't mean that Draymond is mad at Jordan Poole or some kind of jealousy over the fact that he's not getting paid. But who knows? Who knows what prompted the fight? Steve Kerr, Bob Myers, Stephen Curry all spoke Thursday after the fight. Bob Myers, great GM, love him. Didn't give a lot of details and did his usual thing of just, oh, Draymond's a great person, but we don't love this. Steve looked pissed, and Steph, for the first time in a while, looked pissed. So everything that was said sounded as if that what happened sucked, and they're not happy with Draymond, but we're moving forward. Whatever punishment will be dealt to Draymond will be done internally within the organization.
Okay. So
Okay.
after all that, though, Derek, like before we get to the why,
yes,
let's talk about the what. Like, what did you think in your head when you saw the reports? Because I think it was like originally there was pushing and shoving, and then Green forcefully struck Poole. So you saw that. Then you obviously had the Myers and the Kerr thing, and then Curry. So what did you originally think? Like in your mind, when you're picturing this happening, what did you think happened?
I hate speculating, but in my mind, I thought
that's all you could do at the time. You didn't have.
I know. I know. But what I thought was it was a mix of Jordan Poole being a young guy, maybe talking some shit, and Draymond not having it, and a little bit of it's a mix of the final straw, like something that Draymond, like it's a mix of him feeling angry that he's getting favoritism in the team because of the contract, or Draymond just is like, all right, listen, little man, I'm gonna shut you up for a little bit because, this is what year 4 or 5 for you, and this is year 11 for me, and I'm gonna show you how things are done. A couple weeks ago, when we had Warriors Media Day, Clay said that if you can't handle being yelled at by Draymond, you can't be here. So I think people, we could separate Draymond Green yelling at Jordan Poole. And
well, Draymond also said the same thing, right?
Yes.
He said the same thing on his podcast about Poole.
Exactly. And Draymond Green, we've seen him yell at Kevin Durant. We've seen him yell at James Wiseman. I haven't seen him yell at Jordan Poole, but nothing.
No, they had that happen last year.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, well, on the road. So I was not surprised that when I saw this happen, I was not surprised. Like I
was not surprised either. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off, but I was not surprised either. But also, you can't be fighting people in practice. You can't be punching people in the face. So I thought we left it on Thursday. I thought it was everyone was pissed, but that's the end of it, and we're moving on. No suspension. Now, you could look back on when Draymond Green got into his not fight, but his words with Kevin Durant back in 2018, when what was reported was that he said to Kevin Durant, "We'll win another championship. Well, we won without you," and it supposedly called him a bitch, and that led to Draymond being suspended 1 game when the Warriors came back from LA against the Atlantic Hawks. He was suspended that game, and I thought the Warriors made a big deal about that when they shouldn't have. There shouldn't have been a press conference. Draymond and Kevin and Durant will tell you about that on Draymond's podcast, but I thought that they need to hold a press conference, and it showed major favoritism towards Kevin Durant and the hope of bringing him back. And they just said, Draymond, you're fucking us up. You need to go sit in timeout for a day. Now, this to me warrants more of a punishment than what he did in the past. However, because they did nothing Thursday, then that's what I think that's the end of it. That's what they decided to do. Then Friday morning, we wake up, and of course, the world we live in now, TMZ obtains this footage, and we'll get to how the hell that happened in a little bit. But you see the video, and everyone's seen it by now. It's a high angle shot So this is shot by people in the Warriors organization, the video department, to give to the coaches later to break down everything in practice. So this should not have gone out. This is not some, not to downplay other instances, but this is not some hotel footage or anything in the past. This is private, like team videos.
That's the portion of the practice that was closed to the media because they don't want to see the media,
Exactly.
like these are the types of things that they're probably going to be running in games, like different, angles that they're going to be run, like just all these different things that they're going to be doing that they don't want they don't want the public to see.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we get the reaction to the video itself. So, in the video, you see Draymond Green and Jordan Poole, but you don't hear any of the audio.
Right.
So, it sounds like they're doing a defensive drill, and you can't really hear, you can't hear anything. You have no idea what they're saying. It looks as if Draymond Green and Jordan Poole are not really saying anything to each other. And then Draymond Green gets in Jordan Poole's face. Jordan Poole pushes him off, and then Draymond Green clocks him in the face. It is not the best look, and it's aggressive especially for a
That's
practice.
putting it lightly. Not the best look.
Well, how would you put it then, sir?
It's a very, very bad look. It's a terrible look.
Okay. Yes, no, it's not a good look.
And I don't care how many athletes are going to tell me this happens all the time. Y'all don't understand. Shut up. Like if you're a football player, like, come on, give me a break. Y'all have pads on with helmets. That's when you start punching each other. Anyway, continue.
Okay. But I saw the video, and yes, it's a bad look for Draymond Green.
Did you think that's how it was? Did you think that's how it was, though? Because I didn't think that's how it was. I thought this was a situation in which both players were pushing each other, right? And then maybe some teammates were starting to come to him, and then maybe Draymond, just got him a little bit with the right hand. Like I didn't know what I thought there was actual pushing and shoving. No, there was one push and one punch. That's it.
It does come out of left field. You don't expect Draymond to out of nowhere. And in the last 2 days, the terminology of everything and like people that get into fights, like, oh, did he sucker punch him? I don't care what the term is.
It wasn't a fight.
No, it wasn't a fight. And also, like, people are saying like, oh, Jordan Poole instigated it by pushing off. Like, you don't get in someone's face and then push off. Please stop. So it's not a good look. And Draymond Green is extremely immature for this. But I have to be honest. Watching the video, it's what I expected, to be honest.
Really?
Yes, it is, because Draymond runs hot. And it's very weird for him to all of a sudden just go from being in someone's grill to then clocking him in the face. So that makes me wonder if there is some animosity towards him, because that comes out of left field.
Yeah,
like
that's
there's no build up. We also don't have any context to what happened too.
Dude, that was a punch where it's like Draymond thinking in his head, just give me a reason. Give me a reason, and I'm going to do it. And Poole gave him a reason. Poole was the one that talked first, and that's what brought Draymond to his face.
It looked like he wanted to punch him.
And when Myers said that this doesn't have anything to do with the contracts, okay, it may not have been the talk. It may not have been like Poole saying like, hey, I'm going to make more than you. It may not have been any of that. But that punch had a lot of that behind it, I think. Contracts certainly played a role in the punch. Maybe it didn't have to, maybe it wasn't the words that instigated it. Maybe that was just, basketball related where Jordan Poole's just talking trash. But like that punch, that was more than just a, hey, you're talking trash to me on the court punch. That had some intent behind it.
I agree with you. But is there anything in the video that was not described in the report?
Well, the pushing and shoving thing, like that's what got me. There was no pushing and shoving. There was one push and a punch. Like the reporting that surfaced around it, again, made it seem like both of them pushed each other, and then that led to Draymond actually punching him. No, Draymond didn't do a punch, or Draymond didn't do a push. He didn't do any shoving. It was one push, and then Draymond punched him. Pushing and shoving implies that both guys did it. Draymond did not. So, yes, the report to me was not false, because Green did forcefully strike Poole, but I think that it was a little light on what actually happened.
That could be the case, but at the same time, what I read in the report, I saw visually. So my thing is this:
What
if
report did you read?
Sham Charania's, Anthony Slater's, and Marcus Thompson's group report.
So you didn't see what you read. Because pushing and shoving, that's not pushing and shoving. You picture pushing and shoving.
I'm not gonna. Listen. I'm not gonna split hairs with the wording and everything, but as far as struck in the face, I saw Draymond Green strike him in the face.
Yeah,
and that's what happened. Now, the way that it plays out, not the best. And I'm not, down. Like, yes, it was terrible. It was terrible what Draymond Green did. Now, if the Warriors on Thursday, when they were doing this press conference, said Draymond Green has been suspended, he will not be there ring night. He's being suspended for the first 3 games of the season. I would have been okay. That's their decision.
Yeah.
And we're moving forward. I don't feel that just because the public saw this tape that things need to change. Public opinion should not change what the Warriors decided in this situation.
right.
We weren't supposed to see this.
Okay, but let me backtrack here.
Yes.
Bob Myers didn't see it till the video surfaced.
I saw that yesterday too. Marcus Thompson wrote a great article saying that a lot of people in the Warriors organization did not even see the fight occur.
It ain't up to Ron Adams to suspend him. That's the only guy who had a clear view.
Ron was in the middle there.
Yeah, it ain't up to Ron Adams. It ain't up to Kerr. It's up to Myers. And I don't think Myers saw the video. I don't think he really understood what happened until he actually saw it. But
so you think because that now that we see the video that things should change?
Not we see the video. I think until Myers sees the video, things might change a little bit, but maybe not. I don't know.
You don't think that they saw that video before it leaked?
I don't think they saw the video before the press conference.
Probably not. Well, I mean, who's to say? I don't know about that, but
it happened right. It really it happened the day after, and that video. I don't think they knew anybody had the video. I really don't.
Well, they videotape every practice. They had the tape. I'm sure after the incident happened that Steve Kerr and Bob Myers went to the video department and said, "Let's see what happened here."
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'm sure a lot of people. I'm sure the players haven't seen it, but I'm sure their reaction is, "What the fuck, Draymond?" And
right.
that's the right reaction to have because you don't treat people like that, especially your teammates. That's a bad look. I understand now. Things happen in seasons. Festus Ezeli came on with this yesterday and said there's a lot of stuff that goes on that the public isn't made aware of.
He also works for the team, though.
I understand that, but he also is a former NBA player, and I agree with him that he brought up a good point. Remember when David West, after they won that championship, where he was like, "If you guys heard what happened this season, it would it'd be so crazy. You can't go back. The Egyptians can't take it from you." Like he was going crazy there for a second, but a lot of shit happens.
Didn't someone have mono and that go throughout the team? Wasn't that one of the reports after?
You're talking about Zach Wilson here?
Dude,
no. That was Sam Darnold.
I'm pretty sure like somebody like that. I remember that being one of the.
I don't remember the mono at all.
Yeah, there was somebody who had mono or something.
Don't remember the mono.
Then they put that back to the David West thing. They said, "Oh, is that the?" No one really knows, but I mean, Festus does, and he wasn't on that team, was he?
He was on the 20. No, he wasn't. He was gone after KD came. Regardless, what I will say is that I just don't think that because we saw the video that this whole mob mentality of society now, just I think of the South Park, just rebel. We want justice now for what happened to.
Why do you care so much about what other people? Like how other people
because
react.
That's what is dictating this, Steven.
Nothing has dictated it so far. Nothing's happened. Nothing has happened.
Well, of course social media got dude, TMZ being a thing got this video out there.
Nothing happened so far. Nothing happened yet.
Okay. And I hope it doesn't because
probably won't.
Let me finish. Draymond Green is coming back to the facility today.
Yeah.
And I think he has to answer for this. If he's going to be part of the new media, then he needs to put on a podcast and talk about this, even though I don't want to hear it. It's the last thing I want to hear now is Draymond Green talk about what happened.
Did you see the pictures that were posted with Draymond up at a microphone and all the
Yeah.
memes and the captions and stuff. What was it? God, what was it? Yeah, I punched him harder. That hit was harder than when we got hit by the Cavs and LeBron back in 2016. I love LeBron. I can't wait to join the Lakers.
Yeah. No, that's part of it. But yeah, dude, I don't know. Like I will fully acknowledge that I don't think what Draymond Green did was appropriate whatsoever.
Right.
If there is some kind of punishment, then I thought it should have been dealt out on Thursday. I don't think that just because we saw something that was obtained illegally that we should get to dictate what happens to Draymond Green now.
There you go. See, Ernie knows what I'm talking about. It was meningitis, not mono. There you
I
go.
forgot. I don't even remember the meningitis.
Yeah. Yeah, that was something.
I don't know,
here's
man.
my thing. Here's my
Yeah.
thing, okay? Suspension doesn't matter. Like, suspension, okay. What are you going to do? Suspend him for the entire year? No, you're not going to do that. Draymond's,
No, he's not Ime Udoka. Come on.
he's not going to be doing that. Like, that's not going to happen. They're not going to suspend him for the entire year. Like, suspend him for a game, okay. Like, what does that do? You know what I mean? Like, suspensions aren't going to do anything. I do think that this has erased any chance of him possibly getting another contract. I don't know if he had a chance to do it. Maybe he did. But like a 4-year deal when you got a bunch of younger up and coming players that are going to be Jordan Poole's age in 3 seasons, like Kuminga, Moody, Wiseman, all those guys still got a couple of years until that age. Like, those guys are going to have to get paid too. If there was any thought about them possibly paying Draymond anymore, I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, that's really the ultimate punishment right there, is he's no longer going to be a Warrior after this season. Like, that personally is what I think. Unless he, decides that, unless no other team wants to give him what he wants, and then he just decides, all right, you know what, I can take my player option and then play for another season. Okay, fine, that could happen. But if there was any thought of him signing a max extension, I don't think it's going to happen anymore. I think they're just going to be like, you know what, we can't take this anymore.
So you and I spoke after the Warriors championship, and
we spoke after a lot of things, Derek.
We did.
We speak periodically.
I'm saying we brought this up back then. So we brought up. I remember.
I'm trying to get you to Draymond Green me through the computer.
I'm trying. I think it was July the 8th, where on the same day we had 2 podcasts released, Draymond Green's and Tim Kamakami's podcast, where he sat down with Joe Lacob. In Joe Lacob's interview with Tim Kawakami, he said, "Hey, look, we're gonna have some very important decisions to do, okay? And we're gonna have to figure out, which guys we're gonna keep, and the fan base may be upset with what we're gonna do." And then on that same day, Draymond Green released. That's my best Joe Lacob. Draymond Green.
You remember the one time you were like, "Steven, I need you to be Joe Lacob." I'm like, what?
We were doing the sketch where Joe Lacob's gonna be my best friend.
Yeah, and you're just like,
I think this could be the start of a beautiful friendship, Derek.
Just talk really fast. Only talk a few words at a time, and then edit on a high inflection, and that's what we're gonna do.
Yep, that's Joe Lacob. So when he released that podcast, well, he didn't release it, but when Tim Kawakami released his podcast with Joe Lacob on the same day, I want to say Draymond Green discussed Kevin Durant wanting a trade, and he said he went into like the whole business of the NBA. And it doesn't matter if you're on a winning team, you got to think about your family and generational wealth. And then he says, my extension date is August 3rd. Hopefully it's a good day. We shall see. I put 2 and 2 together back then, and I thought to myself, Draymond Green is not going to get a contract extension. He thinks he's going to, but he's not going to. And what I believe, even before this fight, is that this was going to be Draymond Green's last season with the Warriors, regardless of the fight that took place this week. They were going to prioritize Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole and Draymond Green said it himself on media day where he said, I don't think I'm getting the contract extension.
Right.
So I was of the belief, and I was dreading it the whole time, that I hope this isn't a last stand situation. The same thing we have with Kevin Durant, where we're going to hear bitching and moaning. He's going to go to his podcast every day and be like, well, I'm having a great season, but I don't have a contract extension. I was just hoping that he put his head down and this is going to be a great season for Draymond, but that's asking a lot of Draymond. So I was fully expecting that this is going to be Draymond Green's last season with the Warriors. He was going to play it out, whatever happens, and then he's going to opt out and most likely become a Los Angeles Laker because he loves LeBron James so much and he's represented by his crew.
Mm-hmm.
Now that this has taken place, I think it's all set in stone. It's hard for me to believe, like we're talking about Draymond Green getting traded before the season starts, and that's not happening. Draymond
Right.
Green will remain a Warrior for this season. And I don't think this kills any trade value or his future on TNT or any of that stuff. It's a bad situation, but also Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr in a practice. And I know that it's a long time ago, and there's only a few instances in NBA history where we could talk about fights being so vicious, but that did happen. And our opinion of Michael Jordan doesn't really change. So I fully expect this to be Draymond Green's last season. And I was really hoping we would avoid any bullshit or controversy, but right out the gate, we have this. And I like to believe that this fight did not stem from the fact that he is upset that his career with the Warriors is coming to an end, but it could be the case. There was actually new
That's
audio released.
absolutely the case. That is absolutely the case.
Okay, all right. You could be right about that. Yesterday, audio was released. This was filmed prior to the fight. Draymond Green went on with Frank Iasola and Brian Scalabrine and basically said, if I'm the one that's going to break up don't look at me if I'm not back with the Warriors after this season. It's not my fault. I'm not the one breaking up the Beatles. I fully intend to be a Warrior for the rest of my life, but sometimes things don't work out. So that's the way I think this is going. I think that Steph loves Draymond, Clay loves Draymond, but if you look at Steph in the way that he looked in that press conference, like this is
as agitated
bad.
as I've ever seen him look.
Of course, and he's pissed because this is different. This is not, he's yelled at Steph before on the court. I've seen it before. He's yelled at Kevin Durant, but striking your teammate, especially a young one that helped you in the championship, and he's growing and he's learning and he's looking for you to be that, role model for how to be a pro, and then you are so angry with him. You're 10 years older than him too, and you punch him in the face. Now, things happen. Teams do get into fights, but this is not a good look, obviously. Terrible. So I understand, and I think they can, get past this. I really do. I think it may be tough for Jordan Poole to trust Draymond in the future. But as far as the season, I think it can be rectified. But as far as Draymond Green's future with the Warriors, I think it was set in stone before this fight happened. I think he's done. I think this is the end. I think that he's going to try to become a Laker because it's blatantly obvious how much he buddies up to LeBron now. And I don't know if the Lakers are going to give him a max contract. They got other fish to fry. They got issues on their own. But yeah, I thought that Draymond Green was gone before this fight even happened.
Okay, well, just a couple of things. First off, how old was Steve Kerr? I'm going to look this up because I want to go back to your Steve Kerr and Michael Jordan thing.
Steve was probably 31.
Yeah, okay. So it's a little different when you got a 32-year-old punching a 23-year-old.
I get that.
It's a little different when it's the greatest player of all time in Michael Jordan, who actually seems remorseful of it. I have a feeling Draymond's not going to be remorseful of this, like Jordan was.
No, that's not true though. He apologized to the team.
Yeah, okay. Okay. But
well, yeah. Hold on. He did.
Yeah, fine. That's okay. Whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could stuff your sorries in a sack, but also at the same time, like, he did apologize.
Okay, whatever. Of course you're going to apologize. You have to apologize. Like, what else are you going to do? Not apologize? Like, you're not
could do that.
But, like, Michael Jordan didn't have to because it's Michael Jordan. This is Draymond Green and Steve Kerr, so those two situations are completely different. Plus, we didn't see a video of it. Like, we didn't see a video of it at all.
But why should that matter?
Because I'd like to see them two side by side and try and compare them. Because I want to see what it looked like. Was it really that bad? And also the thing with the Poole video, I do wonder if he really connected as much as we thought, because there wasn't really like a mark on Jordan Poole's face as far as I saw.
I think that's irrelevant. I think the fact that the intent was to strike him in the face is bad enough.
Well, for sure, but I would have liked to see it actually connect. and being like a fan
I
of.
don't like breaking down this whole video like it's a Zapruder film, to be honest.
Yeah, I know you don't. You don't like doing that. But uh I also, having been like now become like a fan of UFC and kind of understanding why they have different weight classes, like the fact that he's got 60 pounds on the dude, like that plays a role. Like I don't, it does. Jordan Poole shouldn't have been barking, but Draymond Green needs to know, like, look, dude, I'm bigger than you. Like I could take you on. Like I'm not going to do it here, but I know I can. He doesn't have to do it, but whatever, regardless. And the Last Dance thing, like, I don't think this is comparable to The Last Dance because they kind of had their Last Dance moment with Kevin Durant and the team, with Clay and Steph going down, and it was just Draymond there. And it was, ironically, Jordan Poole and Eric Paschall getting excited about Alan Smiley, you know, Alec Burks and Glenn Robinson. Oh, God, what a time. That was it felt like that was kind of the Last Dance moment when that was breaking down, because you didn't know if Clay was going to come back, but you end up giving Draymond the extension, and you give Clay the Clay already actually had the extension prior to that, but like, they came back from that. So I think the Last Dance thing is kind of out the window personally. Like, I don't think this is like a Last Dance moment. And Draymond, when he spoke to Isola and who was it, Scalabrini, did he say I don't want to break up the Beatles? I'm not the one breaking up the Beatles. He actually said that.
He said, "I'm not the one breaking up the Beatles."
My man. All right, respect, Draymond. I like. Yeah.
Oh, you
All
like him now,
right.
huh?
Acknowledging yeah. All right, I'm into that. Okay, cool. Um. Uh. I don't know, man. Like this whole thing, but yeah, you're right. Like if there was any thought of possibly signing him back, not going to happen anymore.
I don't think I do believe that when Joe Lacob was referring to the fact that they got some tough decisions to make, they're going younger. They want Jordan Poole and they want Andrew Wiggins, and it's no, indictment on Draymond Green as a player. He's been a fantastic defensive player of the year, candidate year in, year out. He, was the quarterback and the linebacker for this team. He makes things run on offense and defense. It will be an adjustment when he does eventually leave.
Just wait till the decision has to be made on Klay Thompson. That one's going to be interesting.
I think they love Clay too much, but that is,
of course. But that's something that's going to come down the line, man. Where it's like, we got Moody and Kuminga. Like, dude, I was like looking up the ages of these guys yesterday. Isn't that crazy how Moody is currently 20? He was born in 2002. That's insane. Wow. I'm never gonna get over like athletes being born after 2000. I'm just not. It's just it's so jarring to see. I don't know if jarring is even the right word, but Klay Thompson's got 2 years left on his deal.
Yeah.
By that time, Kuminga, Moody, and Wiseman are all going to want to be paid. That's going to be the next one up. I think Draymond's dud. Clay's going to be the next one where the tough decision is going to be made. It's like, well, do you want to, like, does he want a 4-year deal when he's 34 years old? Is it worth it to give it to him when we got these guys in their early 20s who are just about to hit their basketball prime, and we could possibly get them in their prime at the end of their contract? Like, that's going to be the tough decision that has to be made. So Draymond is out. Bye-bye. I do think that this team, like, I do think that people tend to forget whenever Draymond does something like this. I do think they forget how valuable he is to the defense. And just when Steve Kerr tells you every year that he wants to be top 5 in defense, like, Draymond's a big part of that. So I do think they're going to miss him as far as defense goes. Offensively, they'll be fine. But he's gone. I think the tough decision is going to have to be Clay. Like, that's going to be the next tough decision they'll have to make. Like, this isn't even a tough decision anymore. Like, this is just an obvious decision now for the Warriors.
Well, yes, and what goes into play here is his track record from, getting into a fight with Steve back in 2016, where they were in the locker room in OKC. The bang bang game for Steph Curry. People forget about whatever was going on where Draymond Green didn't want to put his shoes on in the second half. He didn't want to play. He was, yelling at Steve. He runs hot. Like, but this is, he got suspended in the playoffs or the finals. We know about that situation. We know about the KD stuff. We know about him getting thrown out of a game, against Charlotte a couple years ago. He just has a track record of all this shit, and it's accumulated throughout the years. And now enough is enough. We were talking about lip reading last week with Jimmy Garoppolo. We all know Steve Kerr's lip reading where he said, "I'm sick of Draymond Green shit." I think they're
Yeah.
tired of him. And I think they want to move on. And this is the last straw. I mean, I thought the straw was already pulled before, but this is definitely the end, in my opinion. Now, back to the video real quick. I hate comparing this video getting out to things like Ray Rice or Joe Mixon, any of those things. Those are gross assaults of men beating women. So I don't like comparing those like those being released to the public and this is a practice fight. I understand it looks brutal, but it is a practice fight. I don't the last couple of days I've heard people throw out like, well, things
Why
change when
don't
the
fans deserve to see this stuff?
because this is a private matter. This is not someone assaulting a woman. This is a practice fight. I understand that Draymond Green is much bigger than Jordan Poole, but at the end of the day, like, okay, I saw Matt Steinmetz last night at Old Ship. We had a few beers and we were talking. Do you feel
yeah, Matt Steinmetz, who told me he was going home at 3:30? What a guy.
Well,
and then he texted me, he said, actually, I'm drinking.
Hey, it's Friday, and that's what Steinmetz does. We were talking, and I asked him, do you feel that let's say back in 1997, when he broke the Latrell Sprewell story, that the reaction would have been 10 times worse if we saw the actual video of Latrell choking PJ Carlesimo? Probably, but we already know the gruesome details of it. There's just some things that we don't need to see. I don't feel that we needed to see this video. And now that we have, and now we know the details, and now people are going to have an opinion about it. But this was a private matter. I feel the same thing about the Aaron Donald thing, him banging the helmets against the Bengals players. It looks gruesome to you and me because we don't live that life. We're not in practice every day. There are just certain things that, as fans, we don't understand. And I know for people that's like, oh, come on now. But that is their world sometimes. And I don't think that we should be allowed in it.
Wow. Okay. I just totally disagree, but fine.
I understand that. I know that view is not for everybody.
Because the reporting on it's a little different. Like, when you picture a guy choking a coach, okay, yeah, he choked PJ Carlesimo. I got a pretty good idea of that. When I hear pushing and shoving and forcefully striking Poole, nuh-uh.
But that's what we saw. He did strike him in the face.
There was no pushing and shoving.
Okay.
There was one push, and there was intent behind the punch. And this meant that there was a lot more to it than just something that happened on the basketball court. Like I told you, my whole view of it before was just, oh, this was just a basketball fight. And we're overblowing this way too much. And then I see the video. I'm like, oh, no, we're not. We're not. So no, I think it's important.
I don't think it's important.
You just hate that fans have an opinion on it and that they're going crazy about it. That's why you hate the videos made to the public. You don't care about the athlete's privacy.
No, Steven, of course I do.
You just hate the reaction to it.
I hate that too. I think that it's not up to us of what happens to Draymond Green. It's not.
Well, okay, that's fine.
And how this video leaked out is terrible. Like, the reports are that $100,000 or $200,000 was offered to a Warriors intern or video technician or coordinator, I should say. But there's no amount of money that could, you're going to be ostracized from every sports department in the world. No one's going to want to take you on for a job after this.
Okay, well, let's say your job has nothing to do with sports and you can make,
this is slimy. Come on, someone releasing this video is gross.
You know the saying, Derek, every person has their price. If you have the video and somebody offers you a ton of money to release the video.
Me personally, the guilt would get to me.
The guilt would get to you? Okay.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe the Pam and Tommy type thing, that guilt would get to me because it tended to
Well,
ruin their lives.
that was really private.
But this one, if it's just a player punching another player, if it's Aaron Donald hitting someone in the head with a helmet, like every person has their price, Derek.
I guess, but then those people shouldn't work in sports because that's the type of shit that goes on sometimes. I'm sorry, people, but everything's not so glamorous behind the scenes.
Okay.
So we should expose that all the time?
No, not necessarily, but I'm just not that's not the point that I'm trying to make here. If you're getting a lot of money, Derek, and you're not making much, and you say screw this, I don't care. I'm not shocked. There's always one person. Maybe it wouldn't be you. Maybe it couldn't be you, but that doesn't mean that that's how the other person thinks.
Would you do that, Steven?
Depends how much. Probably not for 100,000 or 200,000. I need a little more than that. I'm not kidding. I would need like 10 milli. Give me 10 mil, and then I'll give you the video.
You probably have incriminating audio of Joe Fortenbaugh that you could release.
Not at all. Not at all. The only incriminating audio I have of Fortenbaugh is his latest Instagram story where he's really pissed about a printer not working.
Good Lord.
It's the most Fortenbaugh video I've ever seen.
I'm glad I'm not on the gram.
He's doing the live thing and he's giving his picks or whatever and, doing a fantastic job. But he has to do this thing where he like turns over his page of notes because he couldn't figure out with the printer how to print out 2 pages. I responded to him on Instagram. He didn't reply back. I don't think he liked my response.
What'd you say?
I just said, sorry, don't know how to fix your printer, but this is hilarious.
That doesn't need a response.
Huh?
That doesn't need a response.
Oh, nah, whatever. Actually, no, I tried to help. Never mind. I said, you know what? Whatever.
All right. We talked about this for way too long, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Draymond Green, and hopefully we don't get any more of this bullshit during the season. How about that?
Yeah. No, they'll go through it. It's just going to be another test, though. As your guy Festus was saying, I like Festus. I met him once. He was awesome. He said that it's just another challenge, and yes, it is. But it's going to be it's like I don't know. I'm thinking back when I was 23, like a 23-year-old's a 23-year-old. I don't care if you're in sports or whatever. A 23-year-old's still a 23-year-old. Like that's going to be tough to be playing on the same team as a guy who socked you in the face.
Yeah, no,
that's going to be brutal.
Yeah, it will be, but I think that they can get past it for this season. We'll see what happens after. Jordan Poole may be a very, very, rich man coming in the next few weeks here, especially with Tyler Hero, what he made. But yeah, no, we will definitely see what happens with the Warriors if we get another ridiculous, Kevin Durant yelling at the media every day season.
Oh, it might be like that. Although,
just can't wait for the next because yesterday, of course, while all this shit's going on, I get an alert on my phone. Draymond Green just dropped a podcast. I was like, oh shit, I gotta listen to this now.
But we also got to remember though that the Warriors, even though all that stuff happened with KD, that still didn't spark the injury. Like they still made it to the NBA Finals and still very, very easily could have won the NBA Finals had Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson both not gotten hurt. So,
yes.
Even though it led to the demise of the team after, it really it impacted the season and how things were going in the post game, but like in the end, they still made it to the finals and absolutely had a chance to win against the Raptors. So I'm not too worried about that. Although the questions that are going to be asked is nonstop going to be Draymond, where are you going? Yeah. What's going to happen? All this sort of stuff. So yes, that is going to happen, but we'll see how Draymond responds to it. Kevin Durant responded to it in an interesting way. Kind of got frustrated with the media. Might be the same with Draymond. I don't know.
Well, the media is in his own hands now.
Yeah.
And the podcast he released on Friday was just an interview with Patrick Beverley. I can't wait for him to he was at the Mary J. Blige concert a couple nights ago. This is not phasing him. So we'll see what happens.
I'm just trying to think of can't be without you, Jordan.
Anyway. No more drama.
Anyway, continue.
It's a family affair, Steven. That's the only ones I remember.
Nice.
What's the 411 on the situation? That was Mary J. Blige, right?
I don't know.
I think so. All right. Let's talk some football. So, Thursday night. You didn't see any of this beautifully terrible game?
I saw the first half.
Okay. I'll cut to the chase. Matt Ryan and Russell Wilson are not looking good with their teams. Quite frankly, they look terrible. Um, I think Matt Ryan has 10 fumbles on the season already. Like, he's just a statue. And we knew that already, but like, what's up with this Colts offensive line? I thought they were one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
They have a rookie left tackle, but they're giving up sacks all the time.
Yeah.
And Matt Ryan's a turnover machine. He can't hang on to the ball. He's throwing terrible interceptions. At the same time, Russell Wilson, he's having a hard time completing passes. Like, I wonder if a lot of the QB changeover is not having a good effect right now. Like, so many quarterbacks changed teams this offseason. Matt Ryan's not doing well with the Colts. Russell Wilson's not doing well with the Broncos. Carson Wentz is okay with the Commanders, but he's not played well recently. He's lost 3 in a row. Who else changed teams this offseason? Baker Mayfield sucks with the Panthers.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Deshaun Watson yet, but I'm sure there's going to be a growing period with the Browns. That's going to be super late in the season, so you may even want Jacoby Brissett to keep playing. That's a discussion for later. But yeah, they look terrible. The Broncos and Colts, and we knew coming into the game, no Jonathan Taylor. Both offenses were not doing well. It was, I love the NFL or the Amazon Prime promos, was like 2 high-powered offenses. No, don't sell me on some bullshit. But I was going to watch. I will tell you this. People want to give shit towards Thursday Night Football. Every week we've had some crazy storyline. The first Thursday Night Football game was Chiefs-Chargers. Good game. Hopefully that's the only storyline you need sometimes. The following week we had the bad beat with the Browns and Steelers. Then the next week we had the Tua situation with the concussion. And then this last week we just had a terrible game across the board. So it's been fun. Like, it was just so bad that it was good after a while. I just loved it. Like, I was just laughing at how terrible the play was. The Broncos were in a situation where it was 9-6, and they had like over 2 minutes left, and they could have kicked a field goal to go up 12-6. Instead, Russell Wilson forces a pass to the end zone. Stephon Gilmore picks it off. The Colts, get the ball back. They kick a field goal, and we go to overtime 9-9. And then Colts kick a field goal. And then we get to a similar situation with the Seahawks-Patriots Super Bowl. It's 4th and 1. Nathaniel Hackett chooses to go for it instead of playing for the tie. And Russell Wilson misses a Cortland Sutton in the end zone while not seeing a completely wide open KJ Hamler, where he loses his shit, throws his helmet on the ground, and says to, I believe, who's it, Tom Pelissero or somebody after the game, and says, I could have walked in the end zone. and then you see, this is why I text you every week, just to fuck with you, but I love watching the post-game show, and Richard Sherman went off. Did you see the video?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
He was waiting for that moment because he hates Russell Wilson. Even when they were teammates, it's been well documented how much he dislikes him. And he went off just saying, run the damn ball. Run the damn ball. You should learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
And I get the Russell Wilson hate. I do, because he's cheesy, he's corny. The Subway commercial, everything about him is just, cheesy. It's not authentic. Kyle Brandt, Mr. Let's Go NFL on the Good Morning Football show. That show is basically just like, let's promote as much as possible for the NFL. We'll wear hats to promote, the different logos and all that shit. It's a wake up in the morning, let's go football show.
Wow, what a terrible idea for a show called Good Morning Football.
Please, you act like you like it.
I don't watch it because I haven't watched it with the sound on.
Yes, you do. You love watching Will Selva in the morning give his updates.
I work in the morning with the sound off. I watch Good Morning Football the same way that I watch Charmed.
After the
during
NBA
basketball
playoffs?
season. During basketball season.
Yeah,
Sorry,
NBA
I
playoffs.
need to add that part into it because TNT is always on the TV in the next morning.
Yeah.
You know how many episodes of Charmed and Supernatural that I've seen with the sound off? An unbelievable amount. Not kidding. It's a lot. There's a lot.
I know.
You know how many
Believe me,
times I have the Leonardo DiCaprio from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood thing, where it's like I see like a random actor who's just getting their start there in Charmed. I'm like, whoa, Amy Adams. Anyway,
is Catch Me If You Can on in the rotation of the TNT next morning?
not in the morning. No.
That I want to say that movie's on like every weekend on TNT.
God, what was it? Jesse and I had TNT on randomly one day, or no, was it FX? It might have been FX, and and something came on. It was like a movie, and the Universal logo comes on. It was like bum 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 bum, and she goes, "Oh God, this is probably like another X-Men movie." He's like, this channel's always playing X-Men movies, and then all of a sudden you see X2.
There you go.
Yep.
By the way, we're recording this podcast while my Longhorns are playing the Oklahoma Sooners, 21-0, baby. How about that?
Congrats. Is
Thanks.
Oklahoma any good?
No,
Oh, wow, really?
but Texas is we got to get these wins in as much as possible before we go to the SEC. That's going to be a shit show. Regardless, okay. Kyle Brandt went in on Russell Wilson the next day saying he is the most ingenuine, I would say. He's a poser. He's, he pretends to be something he's not. He brought up, when he covered the NFL Honors Award show, that Russell Wilson and Sierra walked the red carpet like they're Beyonce and Jay-Z, and they put their hands up on their faces like, no, we don't want to talk. It's becoming a little personal for my taste with the hate for Russell Wilson. Is he playing poorly? 100%. Is he corny as hell? Absolutely. But there's a lot of hatred going on for him right now that I'm like, that's a little too much in my opinion. And I also want to know, like, where's the hate for Matt Ryan? He's been terrible. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, Tom Brady said it on Wednesday where he said we're getting a lot of bad football. Do you think we're getting a lot of parity in the league right now with a lot of 2-2 teams, or are we just getting shitty football right now?
I think I mean, it's a little bit of both. You're not getting, you don't really have a lot of like really good teams, in the NFL. Like the good teams that you could think of are, on the AFC side, you got Buffalo and Kansas City, like as legit good teams. On the NFC side, I mean, the Eagles look really good right now. Someone made a really good point in saying that, God, who was it that made the point? Damn it. I wish I could credit them. But they were making the point in saying like the Eagles have won in a variety of ways. It's not like they've just beat you one way, which is something that I found interesting. So they might be good. But the other teams in the NFC East, like the Cowboys and the Giants, even though they're 3-1, I don't consider them good teams. The Vikings and the Packers, I don't know what to make of those teams right now. The Buccaneers, I don't really think they're that good, to be honest. I think their offense just looks totally different. And then the Falcons, I actually think the Falcons are okay, but I don't think they're a good team. The Niners, I don't know what to make of the Niners either. Their defense is top tier right now. They look really, really good. The offense, once you get in, I mean, like that game against the Rams was the most typical 49er game that I've ever seen, where it's just like they absolutely pummel them on defense, and the offense does just enough to get it done where you can get one score and then you put that over the top and then you win by 13, or whatever it is, not 13, 15. So maybe the 49ers are a good team. I don't think the Rams are. I think the Rams are lost right now on offense. Maybe they could pick it up. Maybe they can. Then the Cardinals and the Seahawks, I don't think they're good teams. So I don't know, dude. Maybe there aren't many good teams this year in the NFL, but it feels like we always have this conversation. It feels like we always having this conversation of, are there really that many good teams in the NFL? It feels like we've had that for the past 5 years.
No, we usually have the conversation. And I think it's just like, we don't know what to make of preseason, because there's seasons where people come out swinging and the offense is explosive and people are like, who needs preseason? And there's seasons where things look shitty. I think there was just so much turnover in the offseason that things are not going as smoothly as possible because teams don't know the offenses as well, and you're not going hard in preseason as much as you were in the past. So I wouldn't say there's a lot of bad football, and if there is bad football, I don't give a damn. I'll watch it regardless. But the play has not been crisp. I will admit that. But yeah, it's still been a good football season so far. I think it's good to have a lot of teams that are at 2-2 right now, because it's anyone's league right now. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles are very good at 4-0, but I could see them losing this week. We'll talk about that later. And I think the Buffalo Bills probably look like the best team right now.
Yeah, I could see that. Wow,
Speaking of which,
you think the
go ahead.
Eagles are going to lose this week, huh?
We'll talk about it. Speaking of which, just to go over some things last week. Do you see John Harbaugh's decision to go for it on 4th and goal against
Yeah.
the Ravens and Bills?
Yeah.
Remember last year we were talking about John Harbaugh, like always asking his team, like, all right, guys, what do you want to do here? 3 weeks in a row, he decided to go for 2
Yep.
and missed it every time.
Yep.
He's doing it again. Like, stop. Sometimes it's just good to kick a field goal, for Christ's sake. Good Lord, man. I don't know what the hell that was. That play had no movement whatsoever. Lamar just had to make a play in the end, and then Jordan Poyer picks it off. Marcus Peters wants to take John Harbaugh's head off after the game. Like, dude, I know you're like analytics driven and that's how the Ravens run, but like, damn, that you could take the lead there. I don't understand that decision whatsoever.
Yeah, I didn't get that at all. And then it ends in the interception. Yeah, that was just terrible, man. But I don't know. He had his reasons for it, but when I was looking at the video of his post game and seeing the responses, it looks like Ravens fans are just about done with John Harbaugh and feel the same way you do. Because I'm seeing a lot of get rid of him. He's done. Like there's nobody.
Well, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, well, there's nobody that was on John Harbaugh's side. They were like, this dude is
a bad
losing
decision.
us games.
Bad decision.
He is losing us games, and to do that against the Bills too, of all teams, the Bills.
Yeah, like, that reminded me of a year ago. Remember when the Titans beat the Bills because they went for it on 4th and 1 when they could have tied the game in overtime?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I just don't get these decisions sometimes. I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, some just quick things from last week. The Eagles went 4-0. They beat the Jaguars. Really bad decisions in that game too. They got lucky in the end with the forced fumble on Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence had like 4 fumbles in that game. But yeah, I think the Eagles are a good team. I don't know if I'm buying them 100% yet, though. I do think they'll win the NFC East, but I don't know. I don't know about the long term with the Philadelphia Eagles. And
Nobody
then Bailey Zappi.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows about the long term with the Eagles. Like that's the thing. They're 4-0. They look really good right now. But then toward the end of the season, they could easily be that story of like when you're in week 15 and you're saying, you remember when they were one of the best teams in the NFL? And then they end up being, I don't know, 9-5 by that time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that'd be a lot of losses. But I mean, like a year ago, the Arizona Cardinals were 7-0.
Right.
They finished the season 11-6 and were out in the first round.
Right.
We will see what happens. This is another game I wanted to bring up from last week. The Packers going to overtime with Bailey Zappi. How about that? With the Patriots going down, Brian Hoyer. Of course, this week the NFL cares a lot about concussions. So Brian Hoyer leaves the game instantly, and then Bailey Zappi comes in and got that Patriot team going a little bit. We might have a Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi controversy on our hands.
Oh my God, if that actually happens. Yeah, I actually didn't watch much of that game because who the hell's calling me? I didn't watch much of that game. It
was foreign ball.
I didn't watch much of that game because Raider game was going on. So
let's talk about that.
I didn't watch a ton of Packers Patriots.
That's fine. So Raiders get their first win, and it was a lot of Josh Jacobs, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns. Devontae Adams got his with 9 receptions. Not much else from the offense. Could have used a little more of Darren Waller for my fantasy team. Regardless, the Raiders win, and it was thanks to the run game and the defense. Max Crosby getting 2 sacks. Their first defensive touchdown in 3 seasons. Do you know against who, Steven?
Oh, God. Wasn't it the Jags?
Nope. It was a pick 6 of Phillip Rivers. Eric Harris.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That was when Eric Harris had like 2 straight games where he had interceptions, and it's like, oh my God, Eric Harris, this is the next coming of Matt Giordano.
That's one of your favorites. Jared Cooper, Stuart Schweigert. Shout out to Matt Giordano, wherever you are out there.
He would always come up with an interception out of
nowhere. He would. He wasn't that good.
When the Raiders were like down by 20, and it's like he gets an interception in
Hey, Matt
garbage time.
Giordano, Jared Cooper with the fumble recovery.
Oh my god. Oh, I needed that.
Um, so yeah, all in all, solid win. You don't know what the Broncos offense, like we were just talking about them. It's hard. Like that's probably the best offensively the Broncos offense has looked this season against the Raiders, putting up 23 points, but the Broncos also allowed 32 points.
Right.
I wasn't really impressed with the Raiders offense. I thought the running game was great, and I think that I don't know how you get rid of Josh Jacobs. Zamir White had a good run in the end of the game, but I think Josh Jacobs is the bell cow for this offense. I think Derek Carr still needs to get comfortable in the passing game. Um, his final numbers
He
were
only had 188 yards passing.
yeah, on 34 attempts. So that's not a lot of
No,
going down the field there. A lot of dinking and
but
dunking. Yes.
he did enough because he actually ran the football and wasn't afraid to take a first down when he needed to. Like that play toward the end of the first half to put him up, like that was a huge play where he goes for 20 yards and they managed to get in field goal range there. Like that was huge by Carr. And then later on in the game, he has another big run in the second half. And Jacobs looked fantastic. Like that run he had up the middle where he cut back and then managed to spin. Like I've seen him do that before. Didn't really see that too much last year. And he had a dude like holding on to his jersey. Like I don't know what the future is for Jacobs. Maybe they just didn't want to pay him whatever the player option was going to be worth. What's that worth? It's like the average of the top 5 players played to the position, right?
No, that's when you're franchise tagged.
Oh, that's the franchise tag. Okay, whatever. I forgot what his option was from a rookie deal. Maybe they just didn't want to pay him that.
That's
But
fair.
man, Jacobs is making a case right now to get a deal. I know it's so hard because you don't want to pay running backs. Like you don't want to pay running backs. And Zamir White did have that great run, but that was all because of the play call. It was a great play call, lining up Josh Jacobs as a fullback, pretending that it was going to him, and then pitching it to Zamir White. The defense didn't know what hit him. I thought it was great. But the thing that's really impressed me, though, I understand that the Broncos scored 23 points. But Patrick Graham, him coming in as the defensive coordinator, he hasn't had a full game yet, or he hasn't had a full game where his defense, hasn't had a bad half. But it feels like every game so far, there's been one half where they're solid and then the other half where they stink.
Yeah.
And it's a mix of the first halves and the second halves. Like it was the same thing against Tennessee. First half, trash. Second half, made the adjustments. Tennessee didn't do too much. The offense didn't do enough to bring him back into the game. Like Crosby is an absolute stud. I've been pretty impressed so far with the defense. Like I think, it hasn't come together fully yet, but once they actually put together like 3 good quarters of defense, I think this can turn out okay. Like I really do. That game, like if they would have lost that game, I would have been just totally done. But kind of like what Tom Brady is saying, I'm also reacting to the rest of the NFL. And right now he's saying that there's a lot of bad teams in the NFL. And I kind of agree with him. I don't think the Raiders are what their record indicates. I don't think they're a 1-3 type of team.
I agree.
I think they could be better than that. And so, this upcoming week is going to be huge against the Chiefs. I'm not going to hold out too much hope on that because it's the damn Chiefs. But, I came away from that game overall pretty impressed.
Yeah, I think the Raiders should be a 2-2 team right now with the rest of the NFL sitting with 15 teams. I agree with you, Steven. I thought the Raiders defense, if you go through week by week, terrible first half in week 1 against the Chargers, then played solid second half. Week 2, they were dominant in the first half against the Cardinals. Then, of course, led the comeback in the second half. Titans, they gave up, 24 points in the first half and then held them scoreless the rest of the way. And then last week, they did give up some points in the fourth quarter, but they held the game together in the end. It's just going to take some time. I don't know what I expect in Monday's game against the Chiefs. Obviously, it's still the Chiefs.
Oh,
but
jeez. Okay. Whew.
Okay?
Sorry. That's my live reaction to seeing that Denzel Perryman is fully participating in practice and that he's probably going to be going on Monday.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal
because I didn't mention him.
No,
that dude
difference maker in the defense.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, just the way that he beelines for the backfield, it was a joy to watch. Like, my God.
Yeah.
Perryman made a huge difference in that game.
So I think the Raiders, they let some chances go this season, but I do think that they have a good thing going. And I'm just interested to see when this offense is firing on all cylinders. When Derek Carr feels comfortable, he's got Hunter Renfrow, he's got Darren Waller, he's got Devontae Adams. Matt Collins has been a great number 3 wide receiver option. I think that this team, it may be, tough this season, but I think that in years to come, and maybe towards the end of the season, who knows? I think they're going to be firing on all cylinders, and they're going to be explosive offense. We'll see where this illusion of complexity goes as well.
We did have a little illusion of complexity. I think didn't Nate Hobbs have his sack?
Nate Hobbs got a sack.
Yeah, but the
only other guy on this team to get a sack besides Max Crosby. Come on, Chandler Jones.
The reason that Nate Hobbs, Chandler Jones actually played okay in that game. He got to the quarterback. He was fine. He got better, but I do want to see him complete it.
I want to see that sack.
It's kind of like Arden Key. It's kind of like Arden Key. It's just like you're getting to the backfield. Just actually finish it, complete it.
Where is Arden Key these days, Jags?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he is, because he was in that first. I think he was in that first Raiders preseason games with Trayvon Walker.
Where Collinsworth thought that Arden Key was still on the Raiders. He said something weird. He was like, oh, this guy, they didn't think he was good, and now he's on the team. I'm getting my teams mixed up. Oh. Yeah. For some reason, I make Chris Collinsworth sound like Bill Cosby.
But go back and watch that little go back and watch the Hobbs sack. Now, this may not be an illusion of complexity. This is just what a good defensive coordinator does. But on the opposite side, he had Jonathan Abram looking like he was about to blitz. Russell Wilson calls an audible and says, hey, we're going to do this because I see that Abram's going to blitz. Didn't notice that Hobbs was on the other side. Hobbs comes in, boom, gets in. He didn't even know. The running back didn't even know that he had to block him. So, that was a great call by Patrick Graham. He just opened that right up. I forgot what my point was, but yes, I liked it.
I'm hoping that David Shaw has a son that plays cornerback, and the Raiders draft him, so we get a Hobbs and Shaw in the secondary.
David Shaw is who you're going to go with there?
Yeah, why not?
Is there any other Shaw in the world of sports?
David Shaw.
That's it?
Listen to him 2:15 with Tolbert and Copes on Thursdays. Anyway, moving on. So Raiders get the first win.
Man, what? Give me that time again.
2:15. It's early in the show.
All right, sign me up.
Shout out David Shaw, doing his best with the Stanford Cardinal.
Attaboy.
And a great coach. If he ever went to the NFL, he would get a job immediately.
He is really good on the air. I've heard him.
He's
a lot.
Draft coverage on NFL Network. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Other game of a team that we follow closely here on this podcast, 49ers. Laid a whooping to the Rams, 24-9. As you said earlier, Steven, typical 49er game against the Rams. 7 consecutive wins over those LA Rams, Rammy Whammies. And, yeah, dude, I think that Niner fans don't have a lot to complain about this week. Jimmy Garoppolo didn't play an amazing game, but it was a solid game. A solid game for them to win. Running game was good. Defense was amazing. 7 sacks. I think Nick Bosa is your early leader for Defensive Player of the Year, leading the league with 6 sacks. Talanoa Hufanga with a great pick 6. Yeah, dude. I think that there's nothing to complain about. 24-9, not having the Rams in the end zone. I think the Rams are struggling right now because they have no idea how to incorporate Allen Robinson in their offense. Because this offensive line play has been so bad, Matthew Stafford is just so quick to throw to Cooper Kupp because he's so afraid of getting hit, and anybody would. But I just think the Rams need to figure things out on offense. We'll see if they get Odell Beckham Jr. There's been a lot said about that this week. But all in all, great performance by the 49ers defense, and I think they're trending in the right direction.
Yeah, but, the thing that 49ers fans were complaining about wasn't going to be a week-to-week thing. The whole complaint before the season, or when Jimmy Garoppolo was going to come back to the team, was that, okay, this team's going to be good enough to make it to the postseason with Jimmy, but by the time you get to the postseason, that's when you're going to need a quarterback who can actually win you games. It's not going to just all be the defense. And I think that's going to really come back to I think you're going to see the similar thing that you've seen previously, where they're going to make the playoffs, and it's just going to be another one of those years. But I guess that's how it is for a lot of teams, because
Yeah.
there's only one Super Bowl winner. But yeah, I thought just the play designs by Kyle Shanahan, like with Jeff Wilson wide open. Jeff Wilson said anybody could have scored a touchdown in that situation. Now, granted, he reached a miles per hour that hasn't been reached by anybody this season or by any Niner this season. I think it was like 20 miles an hour or something like that. So it was as quick as anybody's run. But
Next gen stats.
yeah,
Oh God.
why do you hate that? Why?
I just have bad flashbacks to doing highlights and that shit being forced upon us.
Okay, gotcha. God, I would have loved that job. Give me next gen stats all day, baby. Adjusted completion yardage.
When it's a time crunch and you gotta get that highlight on the air, sir, it's a huge pain in the ass. Anyway.
But that run was wide open. The Debo touchdown, like this dude is just nothing's changed. Debo's still unbelievable.
Sorry, Texas is up 28-0 and their defense just got a pick.
That's
Fuck
okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. God,
Hate OU.
This is why I do not like college football. It's just blowouts after blowouts everywhere. It's just there's too
Not
much.
all the time. I mean, you can watch this scoreless game between the Rays and Guardians right now.
I'd rather watch that. It's playoff baseball.
Nothing wrong with that either.
But no, there is something wrong with it, Derek. And if you don't like what I like, then there's something wrong with you.
See, you're everybody on Twitter.
But that catch and run by Debo is just unbelievable.
Like, that was a great play.
That's just like, see, that's my whole thing with the Jimmy Garoppolo wins and losses thing. It's like, how many of those wins are really due to Jimmy, as opposed to, well, the defense was lights out.
This has nothing to do with Jimmy. Can't we just give the Niners their due?
Well, no, we can give the Niners their due, but I'm just giving my opinion. Can I give my opinion?
Yes.
I'm just saying, like, this is my whole problem with the wins and losses thing. There are so many, like, again, like I told you, it's a typical, like we've said, it's a typical Niner win where Jimmy just is an average quarterback, somehow gets a touchdown out of it, and, doesn't do enough to make them lose because the defense keeps them in the game. So,
to be fair, he was 16 of 27 for 239. He did throw for more yards than Derek Carr this week.
To be fair, how many of those yards? I think 70% of those yards were yards after the catch. So, to be fair,
you're right. Brock Purdy could have won in this game this week. I hear you.
Maybe.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
He held the Rams. The defense held the Rams to 9 points.
It was a dude. Teams are like this sometimes, where you have a great defense, you don't have to do that much on offense. Even though they did score two touchdowns. Debo had a great run. Not sure what the hell Jalen Ramsey's doing on that play.
Just trying to tackle Debo. But you know what, man? Like,
they can't tackle Debo.
That's it. Like when I think of this 49er team, I just don't think of Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, I just don't. I don't know. It's all like, I think of Debo. I think of Kittle pancaking a guy. I think of Juszczyk.
Well, certainly not catching a pass.
But this is going to be put to the test next week because Colton McKivitz played fine. But now that he's going to be out, Jalen Moore at left tackle, like that's going to be brutal.
Got to block Brian Burns in that Panthers front.
Yeah, like I know that the Panthers stink, and we're not supposed to, we're not supposed to say they're going to be good. And I know that Jimmy Garoppolo's strength is getting the ball out quick, and that's what you do to elude a pass rush is you get the ball out quickly. So they'll probably win because of that. But like, that's going to be tough, man, to face for it's not this week, but it's the weeks following. The Falcons, I don't think they're any team to slouch at. I think they're actually pretty good. So I don't know. Good win overall, though, for the Niners. But, man, that Debo catch and run was just unreal.
No, and they should have 2 wins in their pockets the next 2 weeks going to Carolina and Atlanta. We shall see. It does get tougher after that. But do you think the Niners have the best defensive football right now?
Yeah, I'd probably say so.
I don't think there's any denying it. I people think I'm biased because people think I hate the Niners. I don't, and I think that they have the best defensive football. I don't think you can argue against it. They are number 1 in points against, and they're number 1 in yards allowed. And I think adding, Mooney Ward and improving that secondary is making this team a hell of a lot better. They already have the pass rush. They have the linebacking core. You could argue in years past when they lost the Super Bowl and even last year that their secondary was not very good. Now, I think it's been much improved. They can match up with the Rams. Mooney Ward doing a good job covering Allen Robinson, and then who's ever playing slot doing a good job on Cooper Kupp. Talanoa Hufanga's pick 6 was incredible, sneaking that out, knowing that Cooper Kupp was in a zero route and just jumping the route and making the play. So I think their defense is much improved. We'll see how the offense plays the next coming weeks here. They got good matchups against the Chiefs and a bunch of the AFC West teams, so we shall see. And they play the Rams again pretty quickly here too.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to find a team that like the defense doesn't match up well with. Like the Buccaneers, for example. Like that team thrives on pressure with blitzes at different times. And
secondary can be had though.
And now you've seen what happens when you don't blitz, because when they didn't want to against Patrick Mahomes, because they know the numbers with Patrick Mahomes. When you do blitz against him, you bring any more than 4 rushers, like he is going to take advantage of it. They didn't bring 4 and they didn't know what to do. Of course, it took some just magic by Mahomes. Like he's unbelievable.
Could we talk real quick about that layup touchdown pass?
It's crazy.
That, I mean, I've seen some things in my day, but when that happened, I was like, good God, man.
In my day?
In my old day, Steven. In my years.
You're 31, Derek.
Don't remind me.
You're 31.
But yeah, I thought it was a great play.
In my day.
In my day. Day by day.
Good.
Day
by day. Day by day. Day by day. Yeah, that was just like
amazing.
Mahomes is on another level right now, and he's also got one of the best offensive lines in football. So
yep.
There's not going to be much stopping him. I'm not really looking forward to this next game with the Raiders and the Chiefs, but it is what it is.
Real quick before we talk about something that happened last week and we pick these games for this week, we're an equal opportunity podcast here. So while I promote my David Shaw interview with Tolbert Copes, 2:15 on Thursdays, we got to promote KCBS 2:15 on every day with you, right?
Yeah, on the 15s and the 45s. You can catch me Is it 2? Yes, 2:15 all the way really overnight. So, all the way up until
that's a lot of dick bag right there.
All the way up until 5:15 in the morning. So
I don't know. That's too much. Is it a
15,
lot of is it a lot of the same updates,
baby?
Is it a lot of the same updates? Just being recorded or played replayed throughout the night?
I'm going to keep that in-house.
Moving on.
Straight up, I don't have a lot of time here either. I got a wedding to go to in like an hour, so it's
wow, making it snapping at me. All right, fine then. I want to ask you real quick. You got your wish? You happy that Kenny Pickett's playing for the Steelers now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he threw 3 interceptions too. I didn't understand that move whatsoever.
2 of them. One of them was in garbage time. Stupid. That doesn't even count. The one toward the end of the game. And the other one,
garbage time. They still got a chance to win that game, Steven.
And the other one was him taking a chance with Chase Claypool on a smaller cornerback, on a smaller guy in the secondary. He liked the matchup and he took a chance. Okay, something Trubisky doesn't do. Like, I love Mike Tomlin in the way that he described it. We're not going to put any of the responsibility all on Trubisky as to why we're making this move. And it's just like, I mean, they can't be honest, but let's be honest. Hey, Mitch Trubisky stinks. You're probably not going to win with him. Might as well not win with the younger quarterback and try and develop him through the year.
All right. I just didn't think that they were down in that game. I mean, they got the lead back, but it's more the strength of Zach Milfson. Anyway. All right. Kenny Pickett. Going forward, should we pick these games fast for you so you get to your goddamn wedding?
Are you frustrated with the wedding? Just because I have plans? What are you, mad?
No. I moved my whole schedule over for you. All right.
Thanks, buddy.
Let's do this in a thing we call wins or wangs. Oh, yes. Music?
Hang on. Sorry. Forgot about that.
No, you're fine.
This is very well produced.
It is. Oh, yeah. Hope you're ready to wake up at 6:30 in the morning again tomorrow, Steven, after your wedding. Not your wedding, but the wedding that you're going to. As we cross the pond again, as the New York Giants at 3-1, taking on the 3-1 Green Bay Packers. Did you know that there's never been a game in London with teams above 500? That's sick. And now we got it this week. with the Giants and the Packers. Packers are 8-point favorites, and the over-under is at 42. Steven?
I'm going to take the Packers to win. I will take the Giants to cover and
Ooh.
give me the. Give me the under. What's the record with unders in England? It has to be pretty damn high.
I'm not
right?
sure. It actually was a high-scoring game last week with the Saints and Vikings.
That's right. Yeah.
But I am going to steal your pick. I'm going to do the exact same thing. While I do believe the Packers win, going across the pond, I don't know if you always played your best, so I'm going to say the Giants cover that 8 points, and we get an under game. The Buccaneers have lost 2 in a row, but they are 10-point favorites over the sneaky Atlanta Falcons. Games in Tampa, and the over-under is at 46.5. Steven.
46 and a half. Yeah. You know what? I'm kind of gonna do the same thing. I'll take the. Yeah, I'll take the Buccaneers to win, but I'm also gonna take the Falcons to cover, and I'll take the under in this game. I don't think the Buccaneers' offense is that good. I think the Buccaneers' defense is gonna stop the Falcons' offense. So yeah, I'll take the under and give me the Falcons to cover.
I think that the Buccaneers are going to win this game, but you took the Falcons to cover. I do like the Falcons this season, but this is a type of game that I think the Buccaneers get right. I'm taking the Buccaneers to win. I'm laying the points, and I'm taking the over. I do think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Interesting. Okay.
All right, then we got the Tennessee Titans traveling to Washington, take on the Commies. They're 1.5-point favorites, those Titans, and the over/under is at 43.
Ooh. What's your odds again?
43. 1.5 for the Titans.
1.5. Okay. Where are you looking again?
Vegas
Insiders, right?
Yeah, something like that.
All right, I'll look at the same thing you are. I'm looking at a totally different thing. All right, but I'm looking at the same thing. Yeah, you know what? Give me the Titans to win outright, and lay the points with the Titans as well. And yeah, give me the over. Whatever. Too scared to bet the under on that one.
Sorry, you're gonna lay the points?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 1.5. I am going to do the same, except I'll take the under. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game.
All right.
Then we got the Seahawks, surprisingly beating the Detroit Lions in a shootout, 48-45. Geno Smith and the Seahawks go to New Orleans, coming off a loss in London. And Andy Dalton is going to play once again for the Saints. Saints are 5-point favorites, and the over-under is at 45.
Yeah, you know what? I'll take the even with Dalton, I'll take the over on that. And in this one, it's tough, man, because God, what's the spread? Yeah,
5.
Yeah. Can the Seahawks win? Yeah, you know what?
That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, I'll take the Seahawks to win. You know what? I'll take the upset. Yeah, give me the Seahawks.
I don't know if I like the Seahawks 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to take the Saints to win, lay the points, and take the over as well.
Wow.
Tua is out, of course. So it's Teddy Bridgewater playing for the Miami Dolphins as they travel to the Meadowlands to take on the New York. They travel to the Meadowlands to take on the New York Jets. The Dolphins are 3.5-point favorites, and the over/under is at 45.
You know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the Jets. Give me the under. I'm going to take the Jets to win. Yeah.
God damn it. Yeah, I'm doing the same exact thing. I'm taking the Jets to win, and I'm doing the under. Damn it, Steven. I thought I was going to be cool with that one. All right. Then we got the Detroit Lions going to New England. They got their hearts broken by the Seahawks last week.
Give me the over. Just give me the over. Go on with your spiel, but give me the over right away. Okay. It's a Lions game. Give me the over.
They are the highest scoring offense in all of football at 1-3. That's incredible. They also are the defense that's given up the most points this season as well. That's incredible.
Yeah. So
the Lions are going to New England, and Bailey Zappi is getting the start for the Patriots. Love this guy just because of his name. You're taking the over, but who do you see winning?
Oh, crap. It's Bailey Zappi. Oh God.
That's what they say in action movies starring Bailey Zappi too. Holy fuck, it's Bailey Zappi.
Yeah. I'll.
You're
You know
out
what?
of time, baby.
I'm gonna
Like
take the Lions to win. I'm gonna take the Lions to win this one. Dude, I think their offense is really good. Like I mean, I don't know. Maybe Goff will throw a pick six right now, but in my mind, God, in my mind,
Well, yeah, you got a hot dog in your throat?
yeah, something, yeah, a little bit, something. No, it might have been like the Mexican pizza I had last night from Taco Bell.
Ooh.
Yeah, they had it back. Yeah, give me the Lions to win. God, I'm picking a lot of upsets this week. I don't like it, but whatever.
I don't trust Bailey Zappi enough yet to. I am taking the Lions to win, but against my better judgment, because it's in New England, I'm going to take the under.
Interesting. Okay.
All right, then we got the Chicago Bears going to Minnesota. The Vikings are 7.5-point favorites, and the over/under is at 44.
Yeah, give me the give me the Vikings all the way. Lay the points with them too. That over/under's tough. 44 is an interesting number. Yeah, give me the under.
All right, I'll do the same, but I will go over.
Yeah, it looks like, dude, you see, like, look at the points per game on this. I'm actually surprised it's at 44.5. Like, right now, the Vikings are scoring 21 points a game while the Bears are averaging 16. The Bears' defense is giving up 19 points per game while the Vikings are giving up 20. It feels like 44 is like a high number, feels like.
Yeah, it does a little bit, actually. Texans at the Jaguars. Jags are 7-point favorites, and the over/under is at 43.5.
This is a slobber knocker, isn't it? Give me the over on this one. Yeah, give me the over on that. I think the Jags are going to score enough points, and the Texans will at least get some in garbage time. So give me the over. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Lay the points for the Jags. They crushed the Chargers at one time. I can see them crushing the Texans. Lay the points for the Jags.
I am going to go Jags. I'm going to take the Texans to cover, and I will put the over on. Then we got the Chargers going to Cleveland, and the Chargers are 2.5-point favorites, and the over/under is at 47.
This is an interesting one. So
it is.
We're looking at Keenan Allen out, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Not really many for the
Austin Eckler having his first big game though last week.
Yeah. Give me the over in this game. Give me the over. That's going to be my original.
That was a scream right there.
Yeah, sorry. I dropped the phone on my keyboard. And give me. Yeah, lay the points with the Chargers. I'll take the Chargers and lay the points with them. I think they can win.
I'm going to take the Chargers as well. I'm going to lay the points, but I'm going to take the under. Then we got the Kenny Pickett Steelers going to Buffalo, and this is quite the spread. 14-point favorite Buffalo Bills. Yikes. And the over/under is at 45.5. Steven?
Bills to win, Steelers to cover. Take the over.
I am going to do Bills to win, Steelers to cover, but I'm taking the under. And then we got 49ers at Carolina. Niners are favored by 6.5, and the over/under is at 39.5.
49ers, Carolina, 6.5. Yeah, give me the lay the points for the Niners. Yeah, give me the under.
I'm going to do the same. And Philadelphia, undefeated, going to the Arizona Cardinals, who are at 2-2. The Eagles are favored by 5.5, and the over/under is at 49.
Yeah, give me the over on this one. Absolutely, give me the over. The Cardinals, I don't know if I'm gonna. Yeah. Well, I mean, you teased this, so I think I know where you're going. But I'll take the Eagles to win and the Cardinals to cover.
I am taking the Cardinals to flat out win. Eagles got to lose sometime. And the Cardinals are wearing their all black jerseys, so they'll be intimidating to the Eagles. I don't know. They're just on the road in Arizona. I'm taking them to win. That's the way I see this. All right. Dallas Cowboys undefeated with Cooper Rush as he starts again, going to the Los Angeles Rams. Rams are 5.5-point favorites, and the over/under is at 42.
Damn. Man, this is an interesting one. Yeah, give me give me the under on that. I think it's going to be a very low scoring game. And you know what? In that sense, I'll take the Cowboys to cover, but I'll take the Rams to win.
Damn it. Yeah, I'm going to do the same.
God, a lot of big numbers this week, huh?
A lot of big numbers. Man, I don't know why, because the scoring is down significantly.
Huh.
Bengals, Sunday night game. Bengals going to Baltimore. Ravens have not won a home game yet. They've lost both their home games and by blowing big leads. And they've won their road games, but they're home against the Cincinnati Bengals, the 3.5-point favorites, those Baltimore Ravens, and the over-under is at 48.
Yeah, give me the over, and yeah, I'll take Cincinnati to win. I think Cincinnati is, they're gonna get back into it. It looks like, yeah, give me Cincinnati to win.
All right, Cincy to win. And then we got the Monday night game.
What are you choosing?
Oh, my bad. I'm taking Baltimore to win, laying the points, and going over.
Okay.
And then we got the Raiders at the Chiefs. Chiefs are 7.5 favorites, and the over-under's at 51.5.
Oh God.
I know. They had such a good win, and now we got to follow it up with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'll just take the over because these games always seem to be really high scoring. So I'll always take the over with Raiders Chiefs. But screw it. I'll take the Raiders to cover, but the Chiefs to win.
There you go. I'm going to take the Chiefs to win. I'm going to lay the points, unfortunately, but I'm going to take the under. And
I'm letting my heart get in the way. It's not good.
Damn it, Steven. The song ended. It was so perfect.
Sorry.
Done. You call yourself a board op. Or used to be.
I'm a reporter now, Derek. I don't know how to work the board. I don't know how to push buttons anymore.
Oh, look at you. Lois Lane. All right. Was she a reporter?
Yeah.
She was a reporter.
Actually very exhilarating. Not gonna lie.
I bet.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for this week of we'll be back on Monday too. So no pregame show tomorrow. We thought we'd get it out of the way because Steven has to go do his wedding. Not his wedding, but going to a wedding with Jesse. And we'll be back on Monday to review the Raiders and Chiefs game. So we'll see you guys 9:30 at night on Monday night. So yeah, see you guys then. And Steven, you're going to be leaving us after that, huh?
Yes, heading to England on the Tuesday following. So
all right. So then maybe we do our. Or you know what? No, we'll do another show after that. So maybe we do our NBA picks after that. But we'll figure it out. As always, we'll see you guys next time. And Steven, say what you always say.